Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this video we have July's Tank of the Month review, which is the STRV S1, which is a tier 8 Swedish tank destroyer. So this tank will be available throughout July for roughly just over about £8. Not sure what that is in dollars, but so yeah, what we'll do is we'll look at the stats for it. So you can see we've got top forward speed of 50 kilometers per hour with reverse speed of 45. You've got 1000 hit points, and you've got concealment of 183 meters still with 208 on the move, and then 448 meters of view range. You have 10 degrees of gun depression, which is in when you activate siege mode. You've got 7.44 reload time with 0.32 accuracy. You've got aim time 2.76. You've got APCR on your standard and premium. But on your standard, you got 288 millimeters penetration with 330 on your premium. You have 390 alpha damage, and you have a shell velocity of 1450 on your standard and 1400 on your premium. And then, with the premium bonus, you've got 160% silver bonus with 110 tank XP. So, yes, the Strix farm. We will look at the armor profile on it. To be fair, there is not much to go through. It is, very minimal. However, you can obviously, when you go in siege mode, obviously it increases the angles, which then, means you can bounce rounds. However, you will get overmatched by, quite a lot of tanks, tier 9 and tier 10s, so forth. You will get lucky bounces, but to be fair, I think this relies more on its concealment than it does its armor, so do not rely on the armor really much, to be fair. You may get away with it top tier, but you probably still find yourself getting penned. It's quite easy to get penned and get overmatched on that turret. You can see the engine and the fuel tanks are in the front of the tank, and you can see the ammo storage is in the rear. The equipment setup I run on this tank, we got camo net, optics, and gun rammer. And you can see we run sort of a split on the ammo types as well. The perks we've run is Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Silent Driving, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, Green Thumb, and Situational Awareness. So you can see we've absolutely maxed out our camo perks as much as possible. So we'll get into the gameplay then, and we'll see how this tank operates. And in the first map here, we are on Redshire. We're actually bottom tier, but this is quite a nice open map to to play for this tank. Now, this tank, I would say, is like most of the Swedish tank destroyer line, is very map dependent. More so than other tanks, it can be very awkward at times. When you get city maps or when you get corridor maps, you have to really plan and you have to know your map knowledge quite well, to be fair, to be able to sort of try and work out on sort of such maps like corridor maps and city maps where you can sort of play. Where it's quite a lot of guesswork as well, sort of trying to anticipate where the enemy is going to come from, so you can get some cross shots in. You've also got to bear in mind that you need to have some you need to have some good conceal, some bushes and stuff in front of you. And we get lit up there because of the enemy tank that's in close proximity to us. So I'm not surprised that we got lit up there. This thing does have ridiculously good concealment, but you need to be sort of using it effectively. You need to be behind bushes, you need to be sort of away out of the proximity of enemy tanks, basically. You all know how concealment works, and most of you should know how concealment and view range works, all the mechanics and stuff like that. But like I say, for those that aren't familiar with the Swedish TDs, and sort of those sort of mechanics, maybe you're sort of used to playing, I don't know, like the Weasel in Cold War and stuff like that, which is just on another level. This thing is not like that. You know, you have to play it with a clever mentality. You need to keep an eye on that mini map as well. Especially with this tank, just because you need to sort of gauge situations. You need to sort of get yourself into a spot where you're not going to be lit, because as soon as you're lit, particularly when you're bottom tier, chances are you are going to get absolutely mullered. Like I say, I'm not even sure. I don't think we've got a lucky bounce there as well. I don't think we were properly in behind bushes and in proper concealment enough to not get detected. So we still get detected like that. So we've come to this position now. We're going to sort of try and get behind this bush, knock this tree down, and improve our concealment. Now we know there's going to be sort of tanks potentially peaking this ridge. We've got to be careful of the left hand side as well, because that one line is kind of exposed. And I've decided to move back because I want to try and see if I can potentially get shots. So you can see that medium tank is basically is sort of lighting up stuff in the one line. This area is now kind of it's pretty much open. Managed to get a nice kill shot on that Pershing there that just decided to sort of be brave and go out in the open. But now you can see the team is kind of this game is really going to start to fall short, because we've not properly secure map control on the 0 line there, and that's a worry for me. And I've sort of noticed that, and I've noticed this side is now completely open. We are, between me and this light tank, we're kind of like the first line of defence, which isn't ideal. I would sort of want to be behind my teammates, just because obviously no disrespect to them, but I'd rather they be the first ones that get lit up. Obviously I've got no armour, so it's difficult for me to sort of rely on anything other than sort of my strength in my tank, which is the really good gun. The gun is exceptional on the Strixbar Online. And this is no exception. It's got a fantastic alpha. Get a really nice shot there on the light tank, setting him on fire. But now we're lit up, we're getting targeted as well. I'm kind of expecting a shot on the right hand side here. Luckily one doesn't come in, so I can only assume that it's just this Hawk 12 looking at me with his gun. So I'm not too fast to bounce a shot from it. I'm going to get the kill on him. However, we do take a shot from the right hand side there. That's a heavy shot as well, which has now put us down to 470 hit points. The HP pool on this isn't great either. Only 1,000 hit points to play with, which it's fair enough, because obviously this tank's strength is its concealment, and obviously the fantastic DPM that it has. But so you don't want to make it obviously completely broken, but 1,000 hit points on your bottom tier is again something else that you have to manage, and try and manage well if you can. So I mean, like I say, back to the gun. You've got fantastic shell velocity. The reload time I've got it down to just over 7 seconds with my setup. Like I say, the stats I've ran off to is all based on the equipment and the perks that I run on this tank. We've got it down to just over 7 seconds, which for 390 alpha tier 8 I think is pretty decent, to be fair. Tried sneaking a snapshot in to that guy blind, but unfortunately he was sort of behind cover, I think, so we didn't manage to pull that shot off. It's 3 versus 6 now, so the game potentially is still winnable, and I kind of made, sort of faffed around with that guy, trying to shoot that guy blind, but really I probably should have sort of got up on this top ridge a lot sooner, because had I done that I could probably have got shots into this Ruthless. I could have got quite a few shots into these tanks that were coming down here. I think I was just sort of I was sort of trying to get shots off blind, and also I wasn't really paying attention to where the tanks were, so a bit of poor planning on my part, and unfortunately our heavy tank gets taken out. and it looks like our artillery is soon to be diminished as well, which it does. Now the other thing that kind of it's a bugbear of mine is obviously the siege mode itself. It's well, 1. Says 1.3, but I think it's, yeah, there we go, 1.6 to, it's a 1.6 time to set up, and then 1.6 seconds to get out of siege mode. At 1.3, sorry, to come out of siege mode. So coming out of siege mode isn't too bad, but for 1.6 to set up can be a bit frustrating, because in that time I've found there's so many times where I've wanted to sort of get set up and get a shot off, but by the time I've got set up, the tank sort of sped off in behind cover, or the shot is no longer there for me. So again, the siege mode can be, it's something else that you've got to factor in, and you've got to sort of be patient with, because it can catch you out at times. Now you see this game is kind of coming to a close here. We just kind of thought, you know what, there's no real place for me to go. The Rice was sort of pincer to me, and then artillery suddenly come unexpected on the one line. So we don't pick up the win there. It was a close game, but we did pick up 3 kills, 4k damage, just over 500 assists. Only the 3rd class there. Probably would have been a lot more had we got the win and maybe sort of put some more damage and kills in, but it was a average game really, not a bad one for sort of bottom tier, but yeah, it was a good game to sort of highlight. When the game goes quickly, it can be a bit of a hindrance to this tank. This tank is definitely for the long drawn out games. And again, in this current meta, unfortunately, you don't really get that. Most of the games are over sort of quite quickly, so it's, again, it can be a bit of an issue and a problem to make this tank sort of work how you want it. But when you do get the games sort of long drawn out and you get the right maps, it's a phenomenal tank. It really is. It's quite good. It's just obviously how patient you are, how much you love your TDs, and how much you can sort of persist with the patience of getting the right map for your tank, and obviously as well the challenges that you face when you don't get the right map for the tank. Like I say, there's corridor maps, there's maps like Great Wall, I guess. I mean, there are spots you can play obviously on Great Wall and Spare, of course. There are all corridor maps, there's places you can play, but it's not as easy as obviously playing sort of maps like Armour here, which is what we're on, which is a nice open map with plenty of sort of areas that you can get shots off on. So yeah, it's like I say, it's an interesting prospect that you'll find out when you if you get the tank. So yeah, LR main here, we've some guys have popped up here, just sort of exposing their turret, which we're able to get shots off on. Managed to track this French tank destroyer in place, picking up some track assist. I was trying to see if I could get a shot on his side there, but he's just angled well enough to have bounced that. Probably should have just aimed for the cupola in the first place, but we switched back to the cupola. I was hoping the tank was going to sort of turn it sideways enough so that I could get a shot through his track, damaging, putting in some damage as well as tracking him in place again, where we could finish him off. A team's taking quite a battering at the moment. We lost 3 tanks in quick succession, and that's never good for morale. This is team destruction, by the way, so we're sort of playing just this right hand side of the map. You get a nice shot into the Pershing there, closing him down, and yeah, we're sort of 3 tanks down, which isn't ideal, but we're not out of the fight yet. We can still put some sort of damage in. We've picked up 2 kills so far, which isn't too bad. Not too much on the damage, but again, we're just sort of playing the patient game here. We're just waiting for tanks to sort of push and come into focus. That Barras gets taken out there, which is good because that's a dangerous tank. Sneaky shot into the Dragon there. Again, the brilliant accuracy of this tank meant that we could get that shot in. Perhaps if we didn't have very good shell velocity or good aim, that probably wouldn't have hit. To be fair, that probably would have derped the floor. And we get another shot into the Drogon there, putting him on to 350 hit points. And again, we're just playing the patient game, just waiting to see what pops up, waiting to see if this Drogon will back up enough for us to be able to get a shot in. But by looks of it, looks like our heavy tank is going to get some shots in there. Now we see this heavy tank that's poking up. It's a T-32, a proto. We know that the turret is stock on it. It's a T-32 stock turret, so it's going to be pretty easy to pen. Again, some 2 more guys on our team have sort of just been shut down, bringing it to a 6v9. So again, still fairly close. We're not going to panic too much yet. I'm just sort of keeping an eye in the middle here. Again, sort of I'm on the fringe of the battlefield here, but we see this Earthshaker come up, get a shot in. There's a palm tree sort of between me and him, so concealment wise, it's gonna improve my concealment having that tree in the middle of us. So yeah, we get a nice shot into that Earthshaker, and again now we're just sort of paying attention. Perhaps I could have moved here, maybe. I don't know. We see this Lerva Black sort of moving around here, and we're just waiting for him to reappear. We pop our food, get a shot in there. Now we get lit up, and I can only assume it's this tank destroyer. And we take it again. We take a real nasty shot from something at the back, and I'm not sure what that is. I have a funny feeling that it may be the Earthshaker firing Hesh. Possibly, or it's something else that's sort of hard hitting at the back there. I'm really not sure, but could have done without taking that hit, to be honest. Again, when you get hit, it really does hurt because, let's say, you've only got 1,000 hit points, so sort of hard hitting tier 8s, you're basically you're out in sort of 3 to 4 shots. We see this Tiger 131 that's getting brave there, so we're getting to that point now where I think tank's going to start feeling brave. We track him in place, and then artillery takes him out, and we pick up a little bit of assist there. We're up to 3.3k damage, and yeah, now the enemies are closing in and I need to get out, but unfortunately we are trapped in. We've got this Earthshaker that's just missed his shot. Unfortunately, we just hit the track there and we don't actually do any damage, which is really frustrating because we possibly could have got out of this engagement had we penned that. He's just fired a shell at us, which I think is a headshot, and yeah, I'm like, there's no way I was going to get out of this alive. And we just miss out there. Had that first shot penned, then yeah, we could have killed that guy and possibly could have got out. Could we have won the game? I don't think, probably not. But you never know. We may have had a slim chance, but like I say, we would have sacrificed a lot of hit points just in that engagement with that Earthshaker. So there we go. We don't get the win, but we did put in sort of a fairly solid performance. It just unfortunately just didn't sort of pan out how we wanted it to. We did pick up the high caliber and the second class medal for our efforts again. Would have been a first if we'd won, but there we go. So where do I rank this tank? I rank it at number 5 out of 10. To be fair, it really is a good tank. It's just very map dependent. And like I say, I've sort of listed the pros there. Gone through sort of the good points about it, but I just think for the map dependency, the hit point pool as well. It can be a pain, and I think for that, I think a 5 is a fairly, it's an even score basically. So anyway, guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, it really does help the channel, and I shall catch you next time.